The root word of container is contain. It's one of those ideas that often we never think about because what does it mean to contain something? When we contain animals, we build a fence around them and we make sure that they have everything they need inside of that fence, but we also don't want them to get out, right? It's awful when our dogs run away and then we have to go chase them down, right? It's anxiety inducing, it's overwhelming. We're going to use this same idea of contain when we're talking about our containers, right? So thinking about the idea of the root of container is contain, we can then go into the idea of, well, then how do I choose the right container? When do I use a container? And how in the world do I keep everything organized and in that container? Didn't know I could use the word container so many times. But today we're going to talk about all those things, and we're also going to give you some really relatable, easy steps so that your house can feel more organized on a day-to-day basis. I have 5 ideas that I'm going to break down for you, but the first one is acceptance, because while we are decluttering, it's one of those things that I had a very hard time with in the beginning, was accepting the fact that I had a finite amount of space, and that even if I liked something, if it didn't fit in the container, didn't fit in the closet, didn't fit where I needed it to be, then that was the cue to me that I had to declutter it. As somebody who always just started squishing and pushing and hiding things when they didn't fit, this idea was the hardest for me. As somebody who often ran out to get more containers because I thought that was going to solve all the world's problems, is if I just had enough containers, what I have found is that when you buy more containers, it doesn't actually solve any of your problems. One, if you haven't hit the acceptance phase, then you're just gonna buy more, fill up that container and feel like you need to buy more. But also, if you don't understand the idea of acceptance, then you're never going to feel like your stuff looks organized, because you can't organize clutter. I'm sure we've all heard that one, right? It was one of those sayings that I had heard a million times and it just bounced right off my big old forehead and kept going, because I thought you could. I've seen people do it. But when I tried to organize my clutter, the things I didn't really need, it never got to a place where I felt comfortable because it was just too much. In my closet in my bathroom is the best example of how I have learned to accept the fact that I have a finite amount of space. In my bathroom closet, I have several containers. And inside of those containers, most of them have smaller containers. But as you can see, each of the baskets in my bathroom have a lid. And that's for me. I needed the lid because the lid is a reminder to me that I have to accept the fact that this is the finite amount of space. Now that goes along with the idea of your threshold. When you have decided that you're ready to declutter and organize and live in a simpler home, you also have to decide what your threshold is. I have accepted that I have a very low threshold for clutter. I easily get overwhelmed. I easily get anxiety over my things. I easily can feel stressed by clutter. Not everyone is like that. Most of the people that I know in my life are not like that. But it doesn't matter because that's me. That's how my brain works. You have to decide, how far am I going to keep going until I feel comfortable? And often for me, I didn't know what my threshold was until I started decluttering. And every step of decluttering and every time that I accepted that though I liked this item, I couldn't take care of it. It was too much for me. My threshold became more clear. The acceptance factor became more clear that I have a finite amount of space. And even if I have room for another basket, that it's not going to help me mentally. Let's talk about containers now and how we can use some of these ideas in our day-to-day life. So the first story that really comes to mind is when I'm decluttering with my daughter and we're organizing her room together. I've bought baskets and she has containers for her clothes and she has some shelves and some hangers. And we've come up with a comfortable amount of storage. And now that we have that amount and it doesn't feel like too much, but it feels just right. We now have to decide every holiday, every time she gets a new toy, every time her birthday comes around, how are we going to bring those things that we really love and enjoy into this area, but also accept the fact that we have containers that are full, and how are we going to now incorporate this new stuff without getting overwhelmed? If it was the old me, I would have just said, well, let's cram it in. Or let's go hide some stuff in another room and we'll just bring that out later. I had to stop doing that. It wasn't working for me. It wasn't working for my daughter. What I have learned to do is to make the container the bad guy. It's not my fault. It's not my daughter's fault that all these things can't fit. It's the container's fault. And just like for us, it is hard to accept that sometimes, but it's a powerful part of being able to stay organized. So as we're decluttering her stuff and we're looking at different things, we might empty one basket, and then I ask her to start putting in her favorite things first. So her dolls go in and her horse goes in. And then we're looking at this stuff on the outside. And if you come to a basket or box and you're decluttering and you see the things on the outside and you are starting to question, maybe the things I already put in the basket aren't my favorite. Maybe I really want this new thing that I got. Or maybe I forgot about this object and I really need this one. And so then you go back in the basket and you start evaluating, well, if this has to come in, if this item has to come in, something else has to go out because the basket, the box is full. That is when you can reach acceptance. The fact that it doesn't matter if these things bring you joy. It doesn't matter if you love them. It matters if it can fit in the container. The container can be the bad guy. You can hold your child. You can sit down and have a good cry and really be sad that this happened. It doesn't change the fact that you have a container and it has to fit in that container. It sounds harsh, it sounds mean, but it's what we have to do for ourselves as well. And until I decided that I was going to live in the world of acceptance, that space is finite, that I'm not going to just run out and buy more and more until I get overwhelmed, because I'd done that pattern, repeated that pattern, and I was unhappy. But reaching the idea that our space is finite and that if you have a container, you are going to treat that container as the bad guy. It's its fault. But that doesn't mean you're going to run out and buy a new bad guy. It means that in this space, this is the threshold I have of the things that I can take care of. I love this idea in my bathroom, again, when I have a medicine bin, because it helps me to remember that when I have too much medicine and the top of this container is exploding, sure, I might be ready for any chaos that might come my way, sickness-wise. But I can't control all that stuff. And that stuff is things that I can go out and buy again if that one sickness happens to come up. So when it comes to containers, whether you are helping your children or whether you're helping yourself, deciding and accepting that you have a finite amount of space and keep decluttering until it fits in that container. Some questions that I would love for you to ask yourself as you are decluttering that container and trying to fit your stuff in it is, 1, have I looked for this item? When is the last time I used this item? Would I even know that I had this item? Would I have gone out and bought this item again because I didn't know I had it? Was it a surprise when I came across this item, and was I shocked that I even had it? That was one that helped me a lot with my clothing, because often if you had a huge closet full of clothes, I would go in there and I'd just like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen that in 5 years. I can't believe I have this item. Or I didn't even know I had this. I already bought a new black shirt because I didn't realize I had this one. If that keeps happening to you, it's probably a good sign that you're over your threshold. I'm going to quickly and shamelessly promote that I would love for you to join the email list. It's down below. I only send about 1 to 2 emails a month, so it's not a lot, but usually they have a freebie and some great information for you. And also, if you haven't subscribed, then please join this community. It's an amazingly supportive group of men and women who are trying to declutter and simplify their lives. And if you are already decluttering here with us, then please throw a heart emoji down below. But Another great idea, which is something I didn't do in the beginning and it makes me so sad, but is to take photos. Take photos as you are decluttering. This YouTube channel, and when I started it, sure, I had already been decluttering a lot. But what I realized when I watch my oldest videos is there's so many things in those videos that I have decluttered. There are so many things that over this past 2 years, I've said, oh wait, I don't really need this. This is overwhelming to me. I have too much and my threshold needs to go down a little bit more. And I love looking back at them because it reminds me how far I've come. So if you're not taking photos as you're decluttering, start with one in the beginning, do another in 5 or 10 minutes, and another at the end. It's amazing that even if you're just looking for trash or you're just decluttering one small basket, it does make a big difference in the feel, in the flow, and how you live in your home. And when you're taking those photos, start a timer. If you've watched any of my other videos, I have several that are about decluttering and starting timers. And I love this idea because as somebody who has ADHD, and even if you don't, if you are just somebody who often gets overwhelmed or scatterbrained by things, starting a timer really helps me to zone in and focus on the one task I'm doing right now. I use this rule now of setting timers for almost any task in my house, whether it's cleaning or editing videos or writing emails. It's a great way to remind yourself that these things really don't take as long as we think. Whether it's decluttering your front room and you think, no, I can't do it today because it's gonna take me hours. You'd be amazed. That's probably gonna take you 10 minutes, maybe 20. And starting that timer is also a great way to say, okay, I gave myself the 20 minutes and now I'm done and I can walk away and I can check it off and I can feel really successful that I put in the time I had to do something that is going to benefit myself and my entire family. And the last thing I want you to think about as you are containing your things, your clutter, is I want you to decide, like in your kitchen, if you have a set of dishes, if they're not fitting in your cabinet, it is okay to break it up. It's one of those very scary ideas. One of those things that I thought was almost morally wrong, right? Which is ridiculous to break up a set. But I did this with a set of yellow bowls that I had. Now I don't have the yellow bowls anymore. 2 of them ended up breaking and I ended up getting a new bowl from my mom. But these yellow bowls, I had 3 of them. One of them was really small, almost like a cereal bowl. Then the other 2 were great and very useful. I ended up finally getting rid of the yellow bowl after really years of not using it. And it felt wrong. But at the same time, I was keeping something that I really was never using. And I bet you have some of those things in your home, whether it's in your kitchen like it was with me or in your bedroom, maybe you feel like you have to keep all of the throw pillows or all of the throw blankets because they go together. I'm telling you, you don't. That you could pick your favorites that fit your threshold, that fit in the container, and then the rest of them, the ones that don't fit, those can go. It's probably even something that somebody else is going to find useful. That small bowl, it was beautiful and useful for someone who needed it. And so I gave it away. And I haven't gotten anyone at my door knocking, asking for the other 2 yet. So it just goes to show that I think we put too much value on keeping sets together when you have to decide, is it serving you? And even more importantly, you have a finite amount of space. Does it fit in that space? If you enjoyed learning about decluttering and organizing today, then I guarantee you're gonna love this video right here. It's going to suit your purpose of continuing your minimalist journey. And also, here's the one right here. If you want to continue a longer journey, learning even more, then I'm excited to share this with you. And I wish you guys all the best.